Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Cunanan. Tonight's topic is Education Under the Tree. And joining us still is Education Under the Tree founder, Dr. J. Arsenia. Dr. J, welcome back to our third and final segment. Again, we have a very nice video just before we come on. And this is a World Bank video about ending poverty. And the themes are very strong and very direct. Health, clean water, safety, power, and education.
Yes.
So talagang we can see education is really key. One of the linchpins or pillars to ending poverty and suffering in this world. And if you think about it, it all comes down to education, no? The lack of understanding, lack of awareness, conflicts around, around the world, a lot are really based on ignorance, no?
Yes, correct.
And then, of course, if you're not educated, it's like a prison with no walls, with no bars, a prison of the mind, so to speak. Huh? How do you see it?
That's why, as a founder, I recall the words of Dr. Josette Talamera Bio, one of our well-known scientists here in the Philippines. She told us, "I have decided to stay in our country because opening the minds of the Filipino children and touching their hearts gives me contentment which money could not buy." Probably that's also the source of my inspiration and motivation as well.
Very nice, very nice. And if you think about it, no, I mean, it's a legacy. It's a legacy that lives on even after you've passed away in the lives of the people you've touched. As in your motto nga, your 3 T's, teach minds, touch hearts, transform lives. It's really the goal of your movement is to transform lives. Okay. Now, before we pause for a break for our third segment, we talked about people helping you. And at the moment, it's starting. It's starting, no?
Yes.
I mean, you're starting to reach out. But let's say people watching now, viewers watching now, if they want to come and help your group to help expand this, how can they help you, number one? And how can they do? And how can they get in touch with you?
Okay, to all the general public, I enjoin you to be part of this noble organization, Education Under the Tree. And if you are willing to be you immerse with this kind of street children, with these women, so feel free to give me a ring. Okay, could I give my number?
Sure, please.
Okay, please give me a ring with the number 093874336622 or 0923-944-5469. And my email address, dr.agustinarsena@yahoo.com.
And of course, on Facebook, it's I'll say it on Facebook. It's Education Under the Tree. They type that out. Your Facebook comes out with all the pictures and contact numbers as well.
Yes,
and if they send you a message on Facebook, you will get it, and you can answer. No?
Yes, yes.
Excellent.
And for those corporations or probably scouting right now for their CSR, I am enjoining you also to join with this particular project. And please help us. Please help the street kids.
What about in kind? Let's say people want to donate things, because we mentioned earlier,
we will.
let's say in terms of materials, where you get your books, etc., etc. What can people give? What do you need at the moment? What do you?
Okay,
what
I
is
need
most
books.
in demand?
Actually, I need books right now.
Okay.
Books.
What kind of books?
Yeah, old books for children.
But are we talking about elementary, high school?
Elementary,
English?
high school. Yeah, or probably preparatory schools, something like that.
Okay.
I'm also encouraging some universities here in Manila. If you have discarded books, you can probably donate it here in Education Under the Tree.
Yes.
Because sometimes those discarded books are just thrown away or probably they are burned.
Oh, no,
but instead of that, instead of doing that, just give it here in my cause, because this will eventually help the street children here in Manila area and in Cebu as well.
And possibly other parts of the Philippines, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because as I call it, we can replicate the project.
No, for sure, for sure.
Yes.
It's as you've managed to pull this off by yourself and with some good friends probably, and now you're doing it in Cebu, in the Philippines, and Manila. And with little or no help, no, from LGUs or from corporations. What more if you had?
Yes. Sometimes people will just critique me. Why is it that you are helping these kids? Come to the point that you don't have money at all to help these kids. But I told them it's coming from my heart, because as I told my mission, teach minds, touch hearts, transform lives. It's my own way of helping and giving back the good things that I learned from school, from the community where I belong before.
Excellent, excellent. And it all boils down to that. We really must give back to society, especially us. We have been blessed with so much, and in terms of education, terms of having a roof over your heads, to being in a good environment, to try to give back to those who are less fortunate than us. That is really what the essence of community is all about.
Yes, and I think we need to walk an extra mile and go beyond.
For sure.
It's not about our own comfort zone. It's also the comfort zone of other people who will be willing to, to accept who we are, and at the same time, giving or repaying the things that you learned, and giving back the goodness to people.
I'll give you a quote. A life worth living is a life lived for others.
Yes.
That really is it. And Pope Francis, who just came back, who just left the Philippines, he came here 5 days. That was his message. I mean, today, this year is the year of the poor. And he said, he called on us, he joined us to reach out to the poor and underprivileged.
And I think we don't need to be afraid to weep or to cry, because sometimes in crying, tears from our eyes will cleanse, and to see the better perspective in us.
Absolutely.
Something like
Absolutely. Okay, future plans. At the moment, I understand that Education Under the Tree is really a movement. It's not registered yet, but I think you're doing something on that.
Yes, yes. That's my future plans, and probably with God's help, probably by end of January or first week of February, we can probably have all the legal phase for this, for Education Under the Tree.
Because you've started a good thing here, Dr. J, and for you to engage stakeholders and partners, potential partners, you really have to have a legal personality, because it's worked until now, done a very good job, but to go to that next level, when people really want, let's say, donate cash or kind.
Yes, correct. And one thing more is, I don't need recognitions for this. I am not doing this because I wanted to be recognized by someone. No, I am doing this because it redounds to my own formation before, because I was also formed in a Vincentian manner, Vincentian way. So in return, I have to give back, because I remember I was a scholar before by DePaul College way back in Iloilo. So I am a scholar of Vincentian scholar community. So our formation is really to live by the poor, for the poor, and doing things for the poor. So I think this is also one way, not going to that recognition thing. It's all about outpouring of your heart for these people.
Yes, and when you're able to help and it comes from the heart, I tell you, there's no greater satisfaction really.
Correct.
Especially if you said you can touch lives. What greater reward can there be than transform lives and touch hearts? There's no greater reward. No amount of money can match that, right? Okay, let's talk about quickly before we end. We have about 3 minutes. Your other advocacies. I understand this is only one, but you've got other things that you're working on. Tell us a bit about quickly.
Okay, some of the advocacy aside from this is we have also the gusto thing.
Yes.
Okay, it's also actually I'm establishing right now an international education brand. It's an international education brand, Philippine made, but globally accepted.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Because I have seen many centers, probably mushrooming here around the Philippines, having that catering only for this small community. But here, this is a Philippine-made, but globally accepted.
Okay.
If you know, I will not mention one of the centers here, but I think if you're familiar with, could I say?
Yes, please.
Okay. If you're familiar with Kumon, it's internationally recognized. It's coming from Japan.
Okay.
The founder is Mr. Toru Kumon.
All right.
He founded it in Japan. So I wanted also to establish that kind of concept here in the Philippines.
Okay, but
and I call it gusto.
Okay, gusto.
Gusto. So you might think, what is gusto all about? Is it a Filipino term? Sorry. Gusto is an English term. Okay? So English term, for enthusiasm, for energy, for zest, for enjoyment, something like that. So I got the motivation of establishing that gusto.
So how is this now different from Kumon?
It's basically, there is a unique blend for this, because I tried to do, for example, I have a child. I make a child as a holistic kind of individual.
Okay.
That's why I still have to, in connection with Education Under the Tree, I have to connect the 3 T's. Teach minds, touch hearts, transform lives. That's my product of gusto.
Very nice.
That's the product. That's the product. If that other international brand has the product of reading, of mathematics, and the rest, I have my own. Teach minds, touch hearts, transform lives. That's my product.
And what is your timeline for this project of yours?
Within this year. Actually, I conceptualized it way back year 2000, if I can recall. Way back year 2000, I recall that. But someone ticked me. Actually, it's my classmate. The name is Choderico Bar Jr. He's now, he's now a member of one of the cruise lines in Royal Caribbean Cruises, I think. He told me, classmate, because we were classmates in high school. He told me, classmate, what if we're going to venture on a business of education? So I told him, yes, I have the idea. We'll establish our own international education brand, and we call it Gusto. And he told me, oh, that's a bright idea, and he told me. So right now, we just have to contact and just have to give me feedback about that. And right now, I'm still scouting for some investors for that. Okay.
Excellent, excellent. Now, before we go, Dr. J, perhaps you'd like to say something to the audience, inspire them to, once again, help you, and maybe give them again your contact details in case they missed it earlier, at least they can get in touch with you to help education under the tree.
Okay. So I think it's high time for us right now to be helping our underprivileged, our marginalized people, and it's one way of also giving back and sharing again the goodness we have. So I think please don't forget to contact my numbers 0938-7433-622 and 0923-944-5469. And for details, just check out the Facebook. It's just type Education Under the Tree, and you will see all the details there. And I think right now, one of my plans is also to expose this to other, to the greater public by giving brochures and some. And I'm also asking those who are IT enthusiasts if you can probably help me create a website for Education Under the Tree. Probably that's also one of your, volunteer works you can probably share to this
a lot of
program.
areas where people can help out. No? All help is welcome. All help is welcome. So, Dr. J, thank you for coming to the show, and very inspiring what you're doing, and I wish you the best of success.
Okay,
and
thank you so
we will
much.
continue to promote Education Under the Tree here on Philippines Uncut and GNN, and we will try to help spread awareness of this. That will be our part, among other things.
Yeah, even abroad, probably, if there are, listeners abroad, if they are willing to...
We are in 7 countries in Southeast Asia, care of the GSAT direct-to-home satellite TV network.
Oh,
so
thank you so much.
7 countries. So, once again, Dr. J, congratulations and best of luck. More power to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Console.
Thank you. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed our show tonight on education and Education Under the Tree. Join us again next week here on the show where we talk about what matters to you guys, because you guys matter the most. See you next Sunday.